Hi, today we're going to talk about this. The AutoAiming component is a component that goes on the main camera. Let me show you what I mean. Here under underscore main we have the main camera, and as you can see there is this AutoAiming component. In the previous video I showed you how to upload the crosshairs and how to instantiate them in the hierarchy. So here they are. If you want to look at them how they look, you can see them in preview in a sense. Okay, so who knows about this is the main camera. So as you can see, all 6, they are actually, see, they appear here. That's because they've been drag and dropped from the hierarchy to here to the inspector in these fields. And then of course also the pistol, right? So the aiming system needs to know where the pistol is down, obviously, because it needs to know where the muzzle is and which direction the pistol is looking, right? So yes, the pistol is also in there, and that's it, right? That's what it's about. Auto-aiming requires the pistol and the crosshairs. So let's look a little more what the code looks like. Well, this is the aiming logic, right? When we press fire, actually all the reasoning has already happened. It's during the aiming that we know what it is that we are about to hit. So that by the time we press fire, everything has already been figured out, okay? So we don't think the moment we press the left mouse button, we do all the thinking when we press the right mouse button. And then when we press both, we aim and shoot. By the time all the thinking has already happened during the aiming phase, and shooting is just a matter of acting upon it. As you can see, everything is duplicated. There are 2 rays, 2 raycasts, 2 targets. So these targets in particular are references to the game objects that are getting hit by the raycasts. And these objects may or may not have a target component on them. So the way it works is that when you start aiming, you cast a ray cast in the direction where the gun is aiming, is pointing, starting from the muzzle, right, straight, until it hits something. Now, if it doesn't hit anything, that's one case. For instance, you point it to the sky, you don't hit anything, and you'll see a white circle as the shape of the crosshair. If you point it to an object that is a game object but doesn't have a target component on it, then it will look like a white circle with a bar because it cannot be hit, right? If it is an object a game object that has a target component on it, then it will have a red ball on it. It means if you press fire, you'll hit it. But there is a problem that I wasn't even aware initially when I started working on this. But basically, the object that is under the crosshair is this thing that is in the center of the screen, right? So when we press fire, we may think as players that the object that is under the crosshair is the one that is getting hit. But if you think about it from the point of view of the avatar, again, not the player that sees the screen, but the avatar that is inside the game, when she raises the gun and points it towards where the object under the crosshair is, there could be another object in between, right? I think we have already explained this in a previous video. So we may end up hitting that one. That's why we need a second raycast. And so there are all these combinations, right? The first raycast may hit nothing, or may hit an object that doesn't have a target component, or may have a target component. And the second one, same, right? Can be the same object that the first ray hits, or it may be a different object, and the different object may or may not have a target component. So based on all of these different combinations, you can have one crosshair with different shapes. So sometimes even 2 crosshairs. Of course, they are also different. And hopefully I came up with a system that is intuitive. There will be a separate video that explains all the semantics of the various shapes. But this is to show you, it's just a bunch of ifs, nested ifs that check all the possible, combinations. I tried also to add some comments. Hopefully it helps. And then there is a function that says stop aiming in case you release the right button, for instance, right on the mouse. So everything goes reset. And then when you start firing, there is all this animation of the blue tracer and the sparkles and all this, right? And then the object is getting hit by the power of the weapon. And that's it. We have already seen it in previous videos as well. So for now, it all comes down to having the auto-aiming component on the main camera and filling up this object. That's the goal of this video. And also reiterate again this way that these crosshairs behave, so sort of anticipate that there is some complexity in there and why it happens. But for now, we are done. Thank you.